The Bitcoin Standard podcast brings you seminars from Saifedean.com, my independent online learning platform where you can take my online courses on the economics of Bitcoin and economics in the Austrian school tradition, join our 2 live weekly seminars, and read my books before they are published. Sign up now for access to the draft of my forthcoming economics textbook, Principles of Economics, and take 5 full online courses based on my books, The Bitcoin Standard, The Fiat Standard, and Principles of Economics. The Bitcoin Standard podcast is brought to you by Crowd Health. Crowd Health is the Bitcoiner's answer to fiat health insurance. If you listen to this show, you've probably heard me rail against the problems of modern healthcare and health insurance. Crowd Health is a brilliant new solution to this problem that leverages the power of Bitcoin to help people get affordable healthcare. Crowd Health holds its cash reserves in Bitcoin. It negotiates with healthcare providers on your behalf and gets you much better rates by offering to pay them cash, upfront, without having to go through the expensive bureaucracy of modern healthcare insurance. It's a solution that works better for healthcare providers and for patients by disintermediating large insurance companies who have the wrong incentives and are constantly raising costs. I'm very happy to have signed up for Crowd Health, and I'm really excited to support them as they disrupt the fiat health insurance industry. Go to joincrowdhealth.com and use the discount code SAIF, S-A-I-F, and you'll get the first 6 months for $99 only.
Coinbits. Coinbits is a great way to introduce your pre-coiner friends and family to Bitcoin. Get them set up in under a minute and help kickstart their journey by turning everyday spare change into Bitcoin. This Bitcoin-only app takes the uncertainty and fear out of Bitcoin saving by rounding up debit and credit card purchases to the nearest dollar, then using the difference to buy Bitcoin. Set it, forget it, and let the app automatically tax your high-time preference spending by saving the hardest money ever. Want to save in Bitcoin faster? Customers can multiply their roundups up to 10x or adjust their savings frequency for weekly or daily Bitcoin stacking. Coinbits is built on a sound, tried and true dollar-cost averaging strategy that turns Bitcoin's volatility in your favor. Once you've gotten a private wallet set up, Coinbits encourages you to withdraw your Bitcoin to your own private wallet and embrace the Bitcoin Standard way of life. Start stacking on coinbitsapp.com and save your time and energy in the soundest money ever.
Get paid in Bitcoin regardless of who you work for and regardless of who is paying you. All thanks to a premium service I personally love and use, and that is Bitwage. Thanks to Bitwage, I receive my books' royalties in Bitcoin. It is cheaper, faster, and easier. It is a true set-it-and-forget-it system, and Bitwage has been offering this premium service since 2014. Anyone can sign up and use it right away. No restrictions or limits, fully non-custodial. You can even split your incoming payment. Get part in Bitcoin and part to a bank account you specify. It could not be easier, and I cannot recommend Bitwage highly enough. Go to bitwage.com and sign up now and get paid in Bitcoin with your next payment or salary.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bitcoin Standard podcast. Our guest today is Simon Tadros. Simon is a Lebanese serial crypto entrepreneur and layer 2 engineer who has been facing numerous injustices and unfair treatment in the Belgian court system over the last couple of years. I know Simon personally from my time in Lebanon. He used to be one of the people that I would buy Bitcoin from. And I remember him very well because when the banking system in Lebanon began to collapse and I left my job at the Lebanese University, Lebanese American University there, I took out my end of service payment from my university, which was at that point denominated in liras that were devalued by around 40%. But thanks to Simon, I was able to have that money converted quickly to Bitcoin and sent outside the country. I was outside of the country, so a family member of mine withdrew the money, gave it to Simon in Lebanese liras, and he ensured that I only lost 40% on it rather than 97%, which is where it would be now if I had kept the money in the bank. And at that point, there was no other way of getting it out except to cash it out into physical money, take the loss on the depreciation, and then convert it to Bitcoin and send it out. So I'm very grateful for Simon for helping me with that. And I have been completely shocked to hear of his ordeal over the last 2 years. So I decided to invite him here so that he could share with us his story. And I believe it's something that has a lot of lessons for anybody in the Bitcoin space, because we're opening up a whole new world of crime and investigation. And I think this is an enormously important case for anybody in Bitcoin and in the digital currency space in general, because we are entering a whole new world of investigations and ways in which law enforcement authorities can investigate crime. And with the complexity of this world, there are a lot of ways of being mistakenly convicted of, or at least accused of doing things that you did not do. And I think, most of us are familiar with the issue of online impersonators. It's a big problem for me. Every week I make a tweet or an Instagram post or an announcement saying, these are my only accounts on social media. And because every day almost there are impersonator accounts constantly contacting people and talking to them. And the problem is that someone might think that is actually me, and then law enforcement could think that is actually me. On top of the big problem of these people of innocent people losing money, there's also the problem of being implicated in something like this. So I thought it would be great to get Simon here to give us his perspective. So Simon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Saif, for the introduction, and congratulations on your new book. So this is the situation. I'm here stuck for more than 2 years. I was arrested in Kiev and deported here.
Let's roll back. Let's go start from the beginning. Go take us back to 2020, before any of this started. Yes. What was going on?
It was 2020. I was involved in the ecosystem. I was the first to sell Bitcoins in Lebanon and involved into the crypto scene. Then I started to do some developing on many platforms, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all kind of the new technology. But at some time, we were investing in shitcoins and other cryptocurrency for the gain of it. And we were assessing project, if this project is serious, if there are exit scams. And I just tweeted for a cryptocurrency named Energy that I forked Dash at that time. And after the tweet, after 1 or 2 months, I see an article that say that they uncovered the biggest crypto scammer in the world, and the Discord crypto scammer in the world, and they were implicating that I am the scammer. So I didn't take it seriously, as we see articles online every day about anyone in the crypto scene. So basically, I just ignored it and took it as a joke.
So let's stop here for a second. This thing is a cryptocurrency called Energy with an I at the end, so ENERGI.
Energy, the symbol Energy.
What was your deal with them? Why did you tweet about them?
Just I was evaluating any cryptocurrency in the ecosystem. So you see many crypto every day at that time. And they're just so that they are manipulating their order books, and they're pumping and dumping the coin with their own money. So it didn't look like a serious project. So just tweeted that this is not serious. This is not a serious project, and should not invest in. Keep your investment in Bitcoin, maybe.
And so they responded by writing a giant article about you being the world's biggest Discord scammer.
Yes, they said they established a new section in their company and call it EBI, Energy Defense Team, or something like this. And they said they will capture scammers. And the only article they published was about me. It was a false article, of course. I have nothing to do with. They just looked at my social media profile, where I'm an OTC dealer, as you were mentioning, and I put selling Bitcoin every day. I buy Bitcoin from sources like Ukrainian exchanges or from people peer to peer, and sell it to other people. This is of course a risky business, but at that time there was no solution in Lebanon to be able to buy Bitcoin through the banking system. So actually, it is the best way to buy it, but the risk come with it. It was peer to peer. I used to buy and sell Bitcoin on OTC, and this is why my what was side of my business that I did. I used to have a development company, of course, but also I used to do the exchange, the peer-to-peer exchanging. So they connected my social media account, and they built a horrific, a Hollywood story kind of thing, and it was a heresy that just made me this character known as Kratos, who were scamming people via Discord. And it was a very silly way to scam people. Just the guy who was scammed gave total access to his computer to this guy Kratos, and he withdrew his coin. There was no hacking skill used or anything. It was just a bit of social engineering, like you open the door for someone you don't know, and you entered to your house. So this is what happened with the guy. And after it, 2 years passed, and I was arrested in Kiev while I was traveling. And I accepted the extradition to Belgium. I came here. They put me in prison.
And you were just traveling to Kiev. You were traveling from Lebanon to Kiev on vacation,
Yeah,
right?
it was a vacation. I had my company before there. I had some asset I wanted to liquidate and go back to Lebanon and get some medicine because there was no medicine at that time in Lebanon because of the monetary crisis, as you know. So yes, it was a trip with France, and once I landed, I was arrested via an Europol request. I don't know how they can get a Europol request without any critical evidence. So the only evidence was the article that Energy wrote, and they were basing it all the accusation on this article.
Yeah, and so the idea is that you must be this person, Kratos, this identity Kratos. And was that person pretending to be you, at least at certain points in time?
There is no connection from me and Kratos, but just he was also a member on one of my groups. That's it. The only connection with me and Kratos, as I have an atomic swap group and I have many groups, there was a lot of the community on those groups and people join. We don't do KYC to every person that joins. There are big communities. Of course, there's a lot of scammers, but we try to avoid it as much as possible, but you cannot fight them all,
Yeah.
So the connection they drew that me and Kratos were in the same group. Maybe it was from a close friend. Maybe it was someone from an island. It was a Nigerian prince. We don't know. They don't know even.
And so what is the total sum of evidence? If you wanted to make the best case for why they're correct in identifying you, what does it come down to?
Okay, they bring a lot of conversation between many nicknames, I don't remember the nicknames, like Strophy, Kratos, Bashful. And in those conversation, for example, they ask the hacker, what car do you drive? He said an SUV, and they take a picture of my car from Facebook. He told them he play kickboxing, and they take a picture of my daughter that have gloves, boxing gloves in some of the Instagram pictures. For example, the hackers say that he's going to a party, and then they go to my Instagram. They bring a picture that I'm at some party. That's basically the hard evidence. And one evidence was the day I was arrested. They say that the account was deleted. And they had some IP that they say the Lebanese, the government didn't disclose those IP to them. Basically, the Lebanese government can disclose the IP because we don't have the infrastructure of IP in Lebanon. They don't understand how our ISP, we have a lot of ISP, and it's a very complicated issue to be able to track someone using an IP address in Lebanon, because you can use any Wi-Fi, you can use your neighbor Wi-Fi, and even the infrastructure from the provider doesn't allow this capability, because they do like some strategy of sharing the internet to be able to be more efficient. And this strategy, you can get 10,000 people using the same IP. So basically, that's all the evidence. I shipped my laptop here. I shipped my wallets. I shipped all my addresses, my Binance account, my Trezor wallet, my paper wallets, like everything was, I was handed to them. They even took my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, my LinkedIn. They were confiscated by the police. They moved money from my wallet. I was watching the addresses after I went out of prison. So there is no evidence against me that connect me to this case. The only evidence...
Wait, you gave them access to your wallets, and they moved the money out of the wallet?
Yes, they use the money after the wallet. Also, after I paid 150,000 USD in bail that was collected from my community, they also took the money from my wallet. Basically, they put me 6 months in prison, and I think I made the mistake to coming here, because I believe that this is a developed country, and I was able to leave Ukraine, in some shady way. But I wanted to get to the bottom of the story, because I have nothing to do with this heresy.
Weren't you arrested in Ukraine, or did you have the choice to leave?
I was arrested in Ukraine, but in Ukraine, you can solve any solution with a little bit of cash, and you get out of it. But I asked for the extradition to Belgium to be able to solve this issue, because I have business abroad and I need to travel. and this it will forbid me from my freedom to go outside of my country. Now I'm looking to go back to my country. I don't. This is the irony of the story.
Yeah. So you went to Belgium when exactly?
I was arrested in 12 August 2021, and I was extradited here after 21 days to see the judge of instruction. And after it, he promised me that things will be solved in 1 week or 2 weeks. And now it's 2 years I'm stuck in Belgium. I'm forbidden to work. I'm forbidden to see my family. My father died while I was in prison. My mother had
My condolences.
Thank you. My mother had a brain bleed in a country where there is no medical insurance. I have to pay all bills. I have to pay everything, and I'm forbidden to work or to have any kind of paper in Belgium to allow me to just to have medical assistance or rent a house or anything related to life here. So I live here, but just in the body. So I have to do some work, and work is not, and with the frustration, it's so difficult, especially.
So hang on a second. So you went there. So you went to Belgium in about September 2021, and you were in prison in Belgium for 6 months, right?
Yes, I was in prison for 6 months, and then they gave me a bail of $150,000 to be able to go out of the prison. And now the money stolen dash is at $30. It's 2,000 dash. It's $60,000. So even, which is impossible, that if I did it, I got more punishment than that anyone will ever get, especially with zero evidence. And as I told you, I investigated the case. I used chain analysis.
Wait a second. Let me just try and structure this to make it clearer to the listeners. So you stayed there for 6 months. And during those 6 months in jail, you did not get a trial yet, right?
Till now, I didn't get any trial. The trial never started till now. We went into 1 year and 8 months of investigation. I don't know what kind of investigation is this. What were they investigating? They also did an investigation in Lebanon through the Lebanon police, and they went to my place and took the Xbox and some wires. I don't know how would this help the investigation. It's on the cloud, guys. So you should investigate the cloud, not my house. I don't know what they're trying to achieve. They were hopeless, I think.
So you went to Belgium in September 2021, and about March, they let you out. Still, you haven't faced trial, but they told you can pay 150,000 euros to leave the prison, but not leave Belgium, and they kept your passport?
Yes, the deal was with my lawyer was oral with the judge, and the judge said he can go back to Lebanon and the court can continue and the investigation can continue. Then the day of my release, they changed all the conditions and they say I cannot leave Belgium, I cannot talk to the press, I cannot work here, I cannot talk to certain people, and that's it. I found myself on the street with no paper. How could I rent a house? Where should I go? So I tried to call people and get some philanthropy from Lebanese in Belgium to help me to get accommodation. So this was the case.
Yeah. And since then, what has happened since then in terms of the case? So now it's been 18 months roughly, almost, or I should say, it's been almost 2 years since this arrest.
Yes.
So what happened while you've been out in terms of the investigation of the case? Have you heard anything, or they just keep delaying it?
The investigation file is still the same from the first day. Everything they got from Energy as investigation. They get some French number from the FBI. They said they are corroborated with the FBI, but they never investigated the number. Same thing from day one. Although I tried, as I told you, I tried to investigate, to do my own investigation. I used chain analysis, and I had someone to help me who has access to chain analysis and has the certification from them. We went into demixing the scammers that took the dash, used the private sand. It's like CoinJoin, and Bitcoin is a private sand, and mixed the addresses so we can track him. But because
they use the CoinJoin on Bitcoin, or they use it with Dash?
They use it with Dash. They use the private sand. They call it private sand on Dash. It's implemented by default in the Dash wallet. So we tracked it through chain analysis software. We were able to discover a flow that he was greedy, and because he was greedy, we were able to get the finality of the transaction was a study that I published online, and we got an address in Binance, and this address lead to the original hacker, and if investigated more, they can reveal at least the true information about the scammer. Yet the prosecutor is biased, and he's like stubborn, and he doesn't want to cooperate. He just replied by how they use the same software and they were not able to, it's impossible to get a result. And therefore, if the address was true, I knew from the beginning, and if it's not true, this investigation is useless. We went into court. We tried many times just to change the language to the French language, because at least I can understand the file, because the file now is in Dutch, and I never read or speak Dutch in my life. The judge refused that because he was pressured from the prosecutor, because he knows if the language go to French, I will get a French prosecutor, and the French prosecutor will not be biased, and he will read the file, he will understand that they made a mistake, and he will not look good. We tried many times just to remove the condition, at least so I can be able to live normally, because eventually I don't have the death penalty. It's a stupid thing. Especially they don't have law in Belgium for cryptocurrency, and probably it is the mistake of they don't have the guidance how to use cryptocurrency. So it was the mistake of this guy who let someone enter his PC. So basically, they are trying to get me a guilty verdict without any evidence. This is what they are trying to do. They don't want to deal with the case from the professional.
They want you to plead guilty?
No, they don't. They want the prosecutor made. So he made his gang. His friend was this judge. He chose the judge. He chose the court. So in this way, he will get guilty verdict, because he pretends that this is impossible to prove. The only proof are the social proof and eventual evidence or circumstantial evidence. This is what he pled, that this with those evidence they need to give me the guilty verdict. And I'm fighting it by trying to remove the judge many times. I appealed more than 20 times till now. There is nothing been, at least in the technical way or in the cryptocurrency way or in the scientific way. Everything is made by this guy is guilty, and the prosecutor is stuck to this idea, and he doesn't want to retreat, as there is no actual evidence or anything against me. And I don't know how they expect me to survive without being able to work or have any paper in a very expensive country like Belgium for more than 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, this is really fascinating, because I think it's without the court going ahead and issuing a verdict, you are being effectively treated like you are guilty. So without a trial, you're basically been treated like you're guilty. I mean, you've had your life ruined for the last 3 years.
Yes, I'm presumed guilty. Yeah, it's against any constitution someone to be presumed guilty to be proven innocent. Actually, it is a complete opposite. I don't know what they are trying to prove. If it is about cryptocurrency, about Mika, about making people afraid from using cryptocurrency because they want to be stuck in the old systems, the systems they can control. That's the issue. We don't know. The Lebanese government tried to help, but no one gave us any attention or gave the ambassador any attention.
So the Lebanese, you mentioned the Lebanese ambassador in Belgium. He's also tried to help you, right?
Yeah, he went many times to the external affair here in Belgium. He did the pressure he can do, the political pressure or any kind of pressure. We have a Lebanese citizen. Would you accept in your country that a Belgian citizen to be treated the same way? Especially, I'm not. They don't have evidence, and I'm a person who works in computers. I'm not a terrorist, or I'm not a raper or a rapist, or I'm not a dangerous person. But we got no reply. Like we don't exist as Lebanese. For them, the prosecutor is the power is centralized as the prosecutor. So they need the centralization of. They said we have separation of power. Okay, this is separation of power is good, but now they need decentralization of power. If the power is the hand of one man, how can you plead to this man. So this man is like the king. He can decide anything. He can take your life from you just by being convinced of something that is not true.
Yeah. I mean, well, what's really shocking and fascinating about this is that it's usually the other way around, in that a French or European or American citizen gets caught in some other country's legal system, and then the world goes crazy about it, and the legal system is inefficient, and they're treating him as guilty until proven innocent, and he's not getting a fair trial because he's a foreigner, because they hate foreigners. It's usually the other way around, and it's usually taken as a sign of just how dysfunctional the legal system is in non-European countries, that the person can spend years in the legal system and not be able to resume their life without any kind of resolution or any kind of verdict or any kind of fair trial. But here we are. It's been 2 years, and I mean, you were in jail for 6 months without trial, and now you are effectively in jail even though you're outside, because you're in Belgium. It's not your country. You have nothing in Belgium. You have nobody there. You have no family there. Your family's in Lebanon. You have no job. You have no income. You have no papers. You have no legal status in the country. You can't leave. You can't work. You can't get any kind of medical treatment or anything that you need. And I think this is essentially prison. It's not very different from prison. You're stuck away from your home. Yeah, Belgium's streets are not exactly like prison. But for somebody who wants to be with his daughter and his mother in Lebanon, it does feel like prison. It doesn't matter how big Belgium is. It is a prison because it's not where you want to be.
Yeah, actually, that's true. And even prison is better. At least you get your free food and you get free medication. And here now you need to beg for food and medication. At least you are identified in prison. And here I'm not identified. If I met someone on the street, I have no paper to show or anything. And the problem that I did the verdict and I paid the money 3 times whatever is stolen. And till now, I'm still getting punished for something I didn't do, and the punishment was too big for the situation. It's not fair. It's I don't know if it's the survival of the fittest. They are the fittest because they have the illusion of democracy and they have the illusion of human rights. But I couldn't see any human right. I went to Human Rights Watch. Amnesty International, to other human rights organizations, and everyone had the same answer. We don't take individual cases, and I don't think it's an individual case. Many people here from foreign country are in prison for many years without any verdict, and this is not fair for anyone to be in this situation, especially someone educated like me and someone who cheers Bitcoin because it represents freedom and it represents all the good aspect, giving humans more the ability to create more, to be more innovative, to give more. I don't know why they punish those people while they are accepting many refugees that probably they are not innocent and they are criminals in their countries. So I don't know what justice they talk about or what freedom, but I experienced the extreme opposite in Belgium.
Yeah, I think it's startling the way that the legal and the justice system there works, and you're absolutely correct. If you showed up in Belgium with no papers, you would probably be treated much better, even if you were an actual criminal. All you have to do is just show up and not have papers on you, and you'll be treated a lot better than people that try and enter the continent legally in many ways. Somehow, once you do that, and I think you see this all across the West as well in the US, sometimes the US government is imposing all kinds of restrictions on entry into the country. They don't apply to illegal immigrants. So if you're an illegal immigrant, you can get away with all kinds of things, and you can get welfare in many cases. You get free housing. It's absolutely startling. You're not even trying to be in the country. You've not had any connection to the country. Have you ever even been to Belgium before this?
Never before in my life I've been to Belgium. I didn't knew it existed on the map. Someday I was in France. That's it.
And why is it Belgium that asked for you to extradite? Was the victim in Belgium?
The victim was in Belgium. He did a case against me. It was refused many times. I think this is my own perceptions that it was now he had the connection with the new prosecutor or with the new judge, and that's why he was able to make it work and to be able to employ Europol to work in Kiev in Ukraine. I don't know why Ukraine isn't even in Europe. I don't know how they were able to make Europol act upon this in Ukraine. Everything was so weird. They said they were tracking me through the US, and they said I was in Los Angeles and I spent $8,000 a night. First, if I work and I make money, what is their problem? I don't understand. And second, I got them a bill for $400. This is why I spent in the hotel in the US. And they say there is a lot of victims in the US that were victim to Kratos. So I said, okay, where is the FBI? Please send the FBI to take me. At least we can talk, we can negotiate with them, we can show them proof, they can access IPs, they can get logs from my computer, correct log. And even now they said that they have a timeline that the day I was caught, the Kratos account was deleted from a Mac who's like 10.14. And the Mac that I had in Ukraine with me, it was like 10.15, for example. So it is a different version of the operating system. And they said my girlfriend that was with me, she took the laptop and deleted the account. And she doesn't even know my password. And it was another laptop. So everything they put in, they try to just create some unreal evidence to be able to prove me guilty, and they think I'm too smart for them, so this is why they are not able to find the appropriate evidence that relate me to this case. But the answer is simple: I'm not related to this case, and they will never able to find something until they create it. Data on chain, they can use any kind of technology to track it, but they don't have the expertise. Maybe they're not trained to do this. It is their first case, their second case. I think it's their first case when someone is using a mixer and they didn't do their job.
So their evidence consists of chain analysis evidence, or is it social media stuff?
Social media stuff, purely social media stuff.
So they have no on-chain evidence against you. They're not saying that this was your address and you sent it to somebody.
No address was connected to. None of my addresses. I have like million of addresses because I used to do the OTC dealers and my wallet and like I was involved from 2015. So it's like 6-7 years of addresses, and no addresses was connected. No IP, nothing at all.
That's absolutely amazing. And I mean, social media evidence is trivial to manufacture. I mean, anyone can create accounts, name them things, and say, "Hey, I spoke to this account, and this account said so and so." Well, I mean, it's very trivial for you to be on the other end of that account and then to share screenshots. It seems to me that is a very, very, very low bar of evidence that they are presenting there, and it shouldn't be difficult to debunk it in an honest court of law. But of course, you can't have that because you just aren't getting a trial, right?
Not getting a trial and not giving a fair trial. We already know, my lawyer already sent a message to the Lebanese government that we are 100% sure that this judge who's dealing with Simon's case is biased, as he did 2 violation of law. I always ask to remove the conditions, and he doesn't invite us to a court. He takes the decision alone, once with the prosecutor, once alone, and both are violating the constitution, because he cannot do a court without the second party being present, and he take also always the decisions while I'm not present. He doesn't listen to me to know what I have to say about my presence in Belgium. And even though on Good Friday, I sent an email to the Belgium embassy in Lebanon. I told them that my situation is so fucked up, and I'm having bad things here, and please help me or I will act. And they say how, and then I see the police and everyone storming me at my place, and they took me again to prison, and they say you are threatening the Belgium embassy in Lebanon. And I said, how would I be threatening? With what I will be threatening the embassy? I've just sent an email because I'm looking for their help, for their understanding about the Lebanese people, because we are not animals coming from the forest, And after that, I saw a different judge, which was good at that time, and she didn't accept to detain me again and to revoke my bail, because this is in the conditions. I'm not available to do trouble, to make troubles in my presence in Belgium. So this is another bad experience. So it's a series of unfortunate events I'm suffering here from, and I'm money exhausted, and I can't do anything to solve to talk to those people to solve this case. I think they should educate themselves. They should educate the people about how to use the technology, because in situations like this, it's too hard to find the scammers. If you open Discord and you go to Discord and you enter any crypto, whether it is a shitcoin or it is a good coin, or whether it's a Bitcoin group or anything, you will see 100 person texting you about offers and stuff and claims this Bitcoin. Even on Facebook and Google, the ads, you see every day ads saying, for example, they will put your video and say, if you send 1 Bitcoin, you will receive 2 Bitcoin. If you will send 2 Bitcoin, you receive 4 Bitcoin. And many people fall for those ads, even they are ads on Google and Facebook, and no one is able to track those people. You cannot fire 100 court every day. People need to be educated to avoid this, and the philosophers should be educated how to deal with this situation. If they cannot get if they know they cannot get real evidence, even if it was true, they should not go this road. Especially if they made a mistake, they should admit it and they say, we don't have evidence. Maybe it's you, maybe it's not you. It's not my problem. And for me, I'm totally innocent, and I never scammed anyone. I dealt with people with millions of dollars in Lebanon. They used to come and buy OTC, and they used to leave the money with me like for weeks and months. And I never scammed anything, and I will not go. I didn't have time to Discord. I was managing a development company. To do Discord scams, it's not me. Maybe if I hacked, I would say, okay, I'm proud of doing a hacking thing, but a white hack. But to do a cheap scam like this, it's not my personality. It's not me at all, and I'm not related in any way to this scam. But they can keep me here, and they are doing it. This is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, do you think perhaps the idea could be that the prosecutors are just looking to score wins, and that's what they really care about? And because you're a foreigner, it seems like it's an easy get for them.
Yes, basically because I'm a foreigner, because the prosecutor think he is an expert in cryptocurrency and wrote a book about cryptocurrency. So he need when I came to prison, they said I'm the big catch for him. Because this is his first case in cryptocurrency, and he want to put it on his CV, or he want to achieve a goal by not failing his first case, and things became personal with him. Therefore, he's fighting with all his power to get me a guilty judgment, to look good in front of his colleagues and get some promotion. So this is what centralization of power gives people, and things should be more, I think, more decentralized. There should be many prosecutors on the same case. I don't know how it should be dealt, but this is complete madness. This is complete heresy.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of those things is a lot of people think of all of these political institutions that are out there to protect people as being robust, but I think over time you see how just bureaucracy and just the slow motion way in which government institutions move essentially render these complications irrelevant. It's basically powerless to help you because they'll just slow things down, and slowing things down is similar to you being guilty in your case, given this you're stuck in a place with no country. That's not your country, away from your family, away from all of your work, away from where you'd want to be. I mean, they're effectively getting you guilt. And I think, perhaps if you'd actually pleaded guilty, if you'd had a quick trial in the first week and you were found guilty, you may have been out of prison by now. I mean, 3 years seems like it's probably it could well be the sentence for somebody who did commit a crime like this, stole $100,000 or something from somebody online. You may have been out of prison already, and yet you still haven't even gotten a trial.
Yeah, because if I wanted to plead guilty, but they want me to sell how it happened, and I don't know how it happened. Where are the money? I don't know where are the money and which address they are now. How can I plead guilty? The problem is that I could not plead guilty in this situation. I tried to negotiate with the guy who pressed charges, and I said it's not me, but I need to go to see my father, and I will give you 100,000 or 200,000 euro, but let me go. My father was on his deathbed, and I'm his only child. And please take the money. Let me go. You will get nothing in the end because I didn't do it. It's just an article from Energy, and Energy. If you look about the company, it looks like a perfect scam, and the guy. Even the team is not known. It's like a website, and how they do shitcoins. They bring a website, they put some people on it, and there is no real work behind this company. And we had their developer. The craziest thing about the situation that when Peter Epperson, who wrote the article from Energy, came from Iceland to be in front of this judge, he told the judge all the stuff were told by a guy whose name is Andrew Galkin. And Andrew Galkin was the developer of the guy who forked Dash into the Energy coin. He asked him, but he was kicked out of the company because he is crazy. And he said that he did this article listening to a crazy person and involving me. And then they talked to Andrew Galkin, and they say, Andrew Galkin, I doubted about Simon, but I never said it is Simon. And he sent around 60 or 70 pages saying about the energy company and how they manipulated their investors. And I still have those papers, and I sent them to the SEC, but no one ever replied because everything needs big money, big lawyers in the state to be able to. And in my situation, I cannot open this war against Energy, but Energy purely is a scam company, like all the other, like many of the other shitcoins out there. So everything is crazy. So the judge was based on a crown witness who wrote the article, who was supposed to rely his article on a crazy person who was kicked out of the company. Actually, Energy kicked out Andrew Galkin because they didn't want to pay him the money they owed him, because he did all the code, and he should have part of their market cap or their whatever they made. And Andrew Galkin also pressed charge against Energy many times. And the guy of Energy, the CEO, was threatening people on online forums using. He said, "I will send." He told me when I replied to him that this article is bullshit. He said that he will send ex-military to execute me, and he live in the state. He live in New York. I don't know how things worked in New York, but he was threatening people online on many blogs and a Bitcoin forum, bitcointalk.org, I think. Yeah, so this is Tommy Lee Power. His name is Roman Rostami. I don't know why he had a fake name also on Twitter. So Tommy Lee Power is Roman Rostami. He's the guy behind the story of this article. And Peter Epperson, who has no picture on their website, wrote the article. And he was. I think there was like also a cooperation between Peter Epperson and the prosecutor. Maybe both are European, and they believe them. He believed him because he's more close to his culture, and maybe they got something together, or I don't know. But a lot of things happened before they were able to get me here. So basically, I think there is a small conspiracy, that not a big conspiracy behind all what happened to me here, and no one is able to help me. Till now, I spent all my money reserve. I spent everything I made from crypto, all my Bitcoin I reserved to the bad time, and I lost everything. Basically, my company, my team, like everything for nonsense, for someone who wrote an article in the internet and with no evidence at all. This is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's too absurd to be true, but that's why it would be nice to have a court case. That's why an open court system would be so useful in this case. And it's sad that without that, there's really not much we can do.
I don't know. The court will start, but even if it will start, they will not listen to me. The judge is totally biased, and they don't care. They just do it like an act or a play, and when the play is over, they can do whatever they want. It's just a play, just to say they didn't give me this verdict, or they didn't steal my money and my life for nothing. They will say I'm guilty. They can do that. It's not my country. It's not my, and I will never let them do that because I fought for 2 years. I will not surrender at the end. I will not accept this court unless it is moved to a more fair court where I will have a fair trial, and I will be able to speak, and I will be able to communicate and get things to get the truth out of it at least.
And tell us more about your chain analysis that you did, where you managed to trace this to an address. How reliable do you think that is, and how well do you think it'll hold up in court?
It should hold up more than any evidence that exists in the court, because there is no evidence. At least there is a line here. They can start to investigate from whatever result we gave. We took around 10,000 transactions. Okay, it's so many, and if you want to connect them all, so you need to connect every transaction from the input and the output to be able to track every transaction. But we were lucky. And the hacker, the scammer, was not experienced and was greedy. He only used three way of mixing, and not the 15 way, which is impossible to track. The 3 way of mixing, and he did it with the whole amount. So basically, when matching source and input, and with small amounts, it can be very confusing, because many people will do that. But when you have a big amount, only in the period of 3 days, only one address at the other side will have the exact 2002 dash. And it's not there is no coincidence. So there was no transaction above 1000 dash. So this is was the only one that get to an exit cluster that had this amount of dash. So basically, we are for us, we are 95% sure. We cannot be 100%, but we are not 95% sure that this address that belongs to Binance is where the money they are looking for is. And all they have to do is to investigate it. At least maybe they can crack the case and solve it. But they don't want to do that, because with that they will know that I am innocent, and they did a mistake of torturing someone for over 2 years, and they have to pay for it in court, and they have to pay me compensations, and this will cost a lot more than they ever than the case or the story. So sometimes you should not dig where we should not spend $1 million to get a hack for $10. This is not logical. If it's more expensive, you cannot hack Bitcoin and do a 51% attack, because it will cost you more. It's the same, and it's the same point of view. So you should not spend a lot of exaggerated amount of money to crack a small case. That was the investigation, and we hope that we can take it to another judge and to get investigated more by more experts and more on-chain people who can really make sure that the result is correct. But even if they just look for who is the identity of this person, it can directly escalate and connect to the case, and they can crack it easily.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't know what to say. I don't have much evidence on the case. I just wish, you could have a fair trial where the evidence would be presented publicly for people to assess, and then it would be a lot easier for people to make their own mind up. But without a trial, we don't have anything. So what is the situation right now? What is the last thing that you heard from the prosecutor and the court?
The situation that we had a court and the judge didn't sit up. He brought another judge and we said yes, we will continue with the new judge, and the prosecutor refused this judge, and he said we will not continue with judge. We want the older judge, and this is not acceptable. And we went after it to because we had an appeal against his removal, and we went to this appeal, and they didn't accept to remove this judge. And now we are going to cassation to also try to remove this judge. So basically, that's the story. That's where we are. It was postponed to August and to the 16th of August. And I think that they still will postpone more, because they will said it is the vacation, and we cannot work on those days, and it will be postponed to the new year, maybe to 2024. This is what I think.
Wow.
Because they want to, they put me out of the street without any ankle, without anything. What they want me to do? Well, they want me to escape to my country. So they say, okay, mission accomplished. We solve it. He's guilty. Let's take his bail and let's life continue. And we will put his name again. He cannot travel from his country, and they will be also winning. So they have a plan. They win. Like whatever they do, they can win. If they let me here, I crack. I try to leave. They will say I'm guilty. If they get me here and they have their judge, they will put me guilty. And if they can't, they will keep postponing till everything in my life burn out.
Yeah, I'm very sorry to hear that. Have you been able to see your daughter during this time?
No, not at all. She's in school in Lebanon. We just have some video call like every day, but it's not.
Can't she come visit you in Belgium?
Maybe she can, but I cannot afford it anymore. Actually, I'm exhausted financially, because I have the company to sustain. I have my mother. I have to pay every month like $4,000, and I have the life here. It's so expensive, and all my source of income, my OTC business in Lebanon doesn't exist anymore. My company went into ashes, and I'm trying to rebuild it now. I'm building some apps, some dApps, some blockchain stuff, but eventually I cannot focus. I'm distracted, being in a place that I don't want to be. I don't like this country. In any case, I don't like the weather. I don't like anything in it, so I cannot be here. It's not my freedom is to be whatever I am relaxed to be, where I enjoy to be. So if you don't enjoy, you cannot be productive, you cannot work well. This is the biggest issue now. The trauma, my father died, I couldn't be there for him. My mother, even I on the phone, I was asking for Red Cross to come take my mother from the home, because she's alone, and I was talking to the phone, and I lived all the trauma to take her from there to the hospital, and to pay the hospital, because in Lebanon they will not accept anyone. And I wake up my friend at night, and I told him to take them 2,000 USD to be able to get her into the hospital. And all this trauma, it's affecting me, and especially I'm still here. At least if I went back to home, I can be more relaxed. I'm diabetic now. I was never diabetic because of it's a big trauma for someone in my situation. Maybe someone will say, okay, this guy could be weak, but I'm not weak. In the contrary, but the situation of my life changing this way, this fast, could make someone dizzy. And any tyranny in the name of justice and in the name of law, it is the biggest tyranny of all.
Yeah, and nobody does tyranny quite like governments, who have the self-righteousness to do it while thinking that they're doing right and doing good. All of this would be solved with a quick trial, but it's very, very sad that you can't get it. Is there, is there anything that you think can be done by anybody to help you? I don't know who listens to my podcast, but I hope somebody out there might know something. Is there something that you could benefit from? Anybody in the Belgian state you think would be helpful for you? Maybe we have some Belgian listeners here who have their connections.
Maybe the media can be a good thing in this matter. The Belgian media. Also, there are Bitcoin embassy here. They are big fans of you. I met them someday. I went to the Bitcoin meeting. and they can be can influence, because people have some power here, even with the fake democracy. They have some power because they believe, some people believe in it, and they can make change in it. So anyone, we can spread the article, or can help in the donation. It will be amazing. It could be a help. Anyone can help, I think, because the story is, I'm a very a transparent person. All my life was on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and anyone can help. Anything they do, I will be thankful for anyone, for any contribution, whether it's media, sharing the article, or any kind of a contribution. It would be great. Therefore, I thank you for this podcast, Safe, and I hope your success in your book.
Thank you so much, Simon. I mean, it's really the least I could do. I'm very grateful to you for helping me out
This was nothing.
and getting my money out of Lebanon. And if there's anything I can do, I'd love
Nothing.
to.
Freedom is more important than it.
I know, of course. It's really sad and it's very dispiriting to just not be able to do something about it. I hope somebody listening could find a way to talk to the right people in the Belgian government to try and do something about this. I really hope some of our listeners could hopefully help us out with this.
Thanks a lot, Saif. Thanks a lot for everything.
Thank you, Simon. Appreciate it. Please keep me updated with anything that happens. And
I'll keep you in the loop.
to our listeners, if any of you has any ideas for what Simon should do, how he could go about proving his innocence, or getting a court date at least, so that this ordeal can be over, please do contact us. Where can people contact you, Simon?
They can on social media. They can put my name as Simon Tadros, and they can find me everywhere, anywhere, social media, WhatsApp, everywhere. Yeah, by email is I think the best way. It's spuriousdragon@gmail.com.
Spurious Dragon, one word.
Yeah, spuriousdragon@gmail.com. I put it in the chat.
Okay, great. Yes, if anybody listening has any ideas for Simon, please do contact him on spuriousdragon@gmail.com. And anything else you'd like to add?
I have nothing more to add. Thanks a lot again, and I hope you success, safe in your endeavors, and hope we meet again. Okay.
Thank you, Simon, and I hope we meet again in Lebanon one day, and your daughter gets to play with mine, and we look back at this, and the nightmare will be over.
Yes, thanks a lot, Safe. Bye.
Cheers. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.